Hi, buddy. Today I want to bring you a very interesting conversation about an article that I wrote about 1 year ago on the different types of advisors that you meet as you walk through life. Now, one of the things that we do not realize sometimes is just how much influence the people that we are listening to and the people that are around us have in our lives. Because, you are an open system. You get influenced by what people are saying and by what people are telling you. And sometimes the influence is so subconscious that you do not realize that they are actually influencing you. And I just thought, let me write about the different types of advisors that you meet as you walk through life. And there is one example that we love to give in psychology that says that if a cat sits on a hot stool, it will never sit on any other stool. Listen to that again. If a cat sits on a hot stool, it will never sit on any other stool. Why? Because the cat will assume that all stools are normally hot. But the thing is, if a cat sits on a hot stool, if tomorrow it is asked by another cat whether it should sit on a stool, you and I know what advice it's going to give the second cat. It's going to advise the other cat, don't sit on any stool, because if you do, you're going to get burnt. Now, the thing is, people always give you advice based on their personal experiences. The cat sat on the stool, it got burnt, and therefore it makes an assumption that all stools are usually hot, and therefore advises all the cats of its generation and the coming generation to never sit on any stool. Now, sometimes the advice that people give you is based on their personal experiences. And if their personal experiences were nasty, okay, then they will always give you advice to not try that thing that you want to try because they had a bad experience in it. But you and I know that all stools cannot be hot, and therefore it is possible for another cat to sit on a stool that is not hot and go through a completely beautiful experience of sitting on a stool as a cat. Now, it's a very simple example. But the point that we are trying to put across here is that if, for example, you are taking advice from somebody on marriage, the truth of the matter is that they will give you advice on marriage that is based on their personal experience. If their personal experience was nasty, then their advice to you is that you should never try marriage. Okay? Now, if somebody tried a particular career and it didn't work for them, then the advice they will give you about that career is subjective, and they will always advise you not to try. If somebody tried a certain business and it didn't work for them, you and I know what advice they will give you about that particular business. So we have to understand that people advise you based on their personal experiences. Advice from an individual is many times subjective. It is about them. It is in their own context. But the reality of life is that you can try something and it is going to work completely different for you. Because you may be trying that idea at a completely different season when the market is ready for the idea than when the other guy tried it. And I just want to highlight for you the 3 types of advisors that you meet as you walk through life. So that anytime you take advice from somebody, you are able to go to the balcony and take an aerial view of that advice and ask yourself, was that advice objective or was it subjective? Now, the number 1 category of advisors that you meet are the guys that I like to call the don't do it guys. Don't try. Okay? Now, because of their experiences, they have resigned to the fact that you should not try. Now, anytime you tell them you want to get married, they tell you don't try. You tell them you want to start a business, they tell you don't try. They will tell you that business you want to try, so and so tried, very many other people have tried, and it didn't work for them. For them, the default setting advice they give you is that you should not try. Now, sometimes it can be okay to tell you not to try. But the problem is that this type of advisors many times do not have an alternative idea for you. So you tell them you want to open a kinyozi, they shoot that idea down, but the problem is they don't give you an alternative idea. You tell them you're thinking of settling down with so and so, and they tell you don't try, but the problem is they leave you hanging there at the street lights. Okay? They don't give you an alternative idea. They don't tell you don't go this way, go this way. But the thing is that for you to make progress in life, you have to keep making decisions and to keep moving. And the moment you stop moving, then it becomes a very, very big problem because you cannot make progress in life. The don't try kind of guys are not helping you. Now, the second category of guys are the guys who advise you to wait. For them, the idea always sounds good, but it's not the right time. So they are going to advise you, wait for COVID to go, gojea hizi migomo wanafanya ziishe, gojea dola ishuke, okay? As you gojea mtoto wako afike class 3, so you gojea hii. For them, every idea is good, but it's not the right time. So you have to keep waiting. But there's one problem with waiting. When you're waiting, it doesn't mean nothing is happening. Time is moving, market is shifting, that opportunity is going to somebody else, somebody is growing their market share, and you will be coming in as the minor or as the lower person, as the underdog in that particular industry. You will not be the pacemaker of that particular industry. When you're waiting, the ground is shifting. It doesn't mean that landing is happening. So the guy who is always advising you to wait is the kind of a guy who loves to procrastinate sometimes, is the kind of a guy who loves to postpone. Then we have the last category of guys, and I say they are usually 1 in a million. These are the guys who cite you to do it. They listen to your idea and they tell you you're capable, you have to do this one, you have to try this one. They may help you adjust here and there, but ideally they wish you well. They want you to go out of your comfort zone and they want you to grow, and they will always push you into the swimming pool so that you can learn how to swim. Now the point is, whereas you can learn something by observing other people do it, the truth of the matter is the ultimate learning is for you to do it. You can learn something about riding the bicycle by watching somebody ride the bicycle. But you and I know that for you to actually learn how to cycle, you will have to risk the fall yourself. You will have to get on the bicycle. You will have to push yourself down the cliff, down the valley, and just learn how to ride the bike. You have to risk the fall for you to learn how to ride the bicycle. If you observe somebody swimming, it is true that you can learn something or two, you can run a trick, a style by watching them, but you will never adequately learn how to swim until you get into that swimming costume and go into the swimming pool. And that is why this conversation that I'm having with you is about, yes, listening to the advice of other people. Listen to the guy telling you not to do it. Listen to the guy telling you to wait. But realize one thing, at the end of the day, you have to get into that swimming pool and learn how to swim. You have to get on that bicycle and learn how to cycle. There is nothing like learning without you doing it. You have to train yourself to take a risk and learn how to do something. There's one thing I always love to say, that whereas we are not sure that you will succeed if you try what you're thinking of trying, we are sure that you will never succeed if you never try. Let me repeat that. Whereas we are not sure that you will succeed if you try what you want to try, we are 100% sure that you will never succeed if you do not try. So take all the advice that you want to listen to. But one thing is for sure, you have to try, you have to give yourself a chance, and you have to do it. My name is Eric, the founder, CEO, Maridady Motors. This year is about making each other better, and I welcome you to come to our showroom and buy a vehicle from us, invest in a smart cab with us, start saving for your car in our circle. We are doing things, we are trying, we listen to advice of people, but we say one thing, we have to implement our ideas in the marketplace for us to make a difference. And thank you so much for getting time to listen to this video. Do drop us a comment and tell us what you would like us to talk about next. Asante sana.